Here we are for video segment number 4 for the JoAnn Soriano Memoir, and we're here in front of Wyandotte High School. This is where JoAnn went to school. We're located at 2501 Minnesota here in Kansas City, Kansas. It's beautiful.
All of my siblings went to school here too.
All your siblings went to school here as well. So it's a beautiful day here in October. It's October 19th. It's a Sunday, about 3:30ish, and school's behind us. You can see this is a beautiful school. You were saying that
it was a WPA project during the Depression.
WPA, that's that public works program?
Started by Roosevelt, yes.
And you were saying that they're trying to keep the school up?
Inside it's immaculate. Inside everything is ceramic tile except the metal lockers. And Andrea visited it last year and she said it's just perfect. And outside the office there are two wood-burning fireplaces, and they have a social hall that's all tile.
Oh.
And at Christmas time they keep the fires burning in those two fireplaces.
Hey, tell me about, so you went to school here. Were you in the school newspaper? All right, so what year did you graduate? Let's start with that.
1950.
You graduated in 1950, so you started here maybe 1946?
Yeah.
All right, and what activities did you take part in?
Well, my main job at this high school was being editor of the Wyandotte Pantograph.
And pantograph, doesn't that mean it mirrors something else?
Right.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So.
And it was a 6-page paper that went out weekly.
And were you the editor all 4 years of high school?
No, just the last two.
The last two. So when you were a junior and senior, you were the editor of the Pantograph.
And my sister was too.
So your sister Betty Lou was also
editor 2 years.
And what are some of your fond memories of high school?
Well, working on the newspaper, and in the autumn we'd walk over here to the football games, and in Wyandotte High School, because we had a swimming pool indoors, you had to pass intermediate swimming grade in order to graduate from high school. You had to pass intermediate.
Yeah, and were you on like any sports at all?
No.
Any clubs?
Yes, I was in the National Honor Society. I was president of a Spanish club.
You were president of a Spanish club? I did not know that. So you spoke Spanish?
I took 4 years of Spanish.
4 years of Spanish. That's why the Italian came to you easily because
but
you
also confuses me.
Right. Confuses you.
Because they're so similar and you forget which is which,
Right.
Trying to speak
Right. So you had 4 good years here. You went on.
It's great, yeah.
You say your mom, you had a scholarship from here.
To go to the School of Pharmacology at what they then called Kansas City University, but what is it now called?
I believe it's UMKC now.
Yeah.
So you had a scholarship to go to pharmacy school, and your mom said what now? Your mom?
She just said that she thought that I couldn't take it. I worked too hard at what I did, so she was afraid I'd have a nervous breakdown if I went to college. So my mother and dad said I couldn't go.
And you were living, when you graduated high school in 1950, you were living under your parents, in your parents' house.
Right.
And your mom said it would be too much to go to college. And what were you doing then? When you graduated, were you working or?
I worked at Commercial National Bank.
What'd you do at Commercial National Bank?
I worked as a teller, and then sometimes I worked in the clearinghouse. There was a regional clearinghouse.
Oh, where they get checks. So you've been a banker.
Yeah.
You've been in retail. We found out yesterday you've been in retail with the artistry and wrought iron shop that you watched during the day. You've been in commercial engineering. You helped office manager.
Well, and I learned drafting from Dad.
You learned
So I worked as a draftsman at Sikorsky in Connecticut.
you got paid to be a draftsman at Sikorsky Helicopter in Connecticut. That is profound. I mean, if I look at...
And I had a cooking school in Connecticut.
You had a cooking school. Now, what was a cooking school in Connecticut called?
It was called the Kitchen Corner JoAnn Soriano Cooking School.
Kitchen
It
Corner.
was in a gourmet store. I had.
JoAnn Soriano Cooking School.
Yeah.
Did you have cards and...
Yeah.
Really?
And I ran ads in the paper and.
Maybe we can get some of those things if we can find them.
wonder.
But it's just all very interesting. So, Mom grew up here in Kansas City, Kansas. She got married to my dad, Charlie Soriano. They met at University of Missouri Columbia at a MUKU football game, and ended up in Connecticut. Now she's in Seal Beach. So, Seal Beach, California, sorry.
Yeah, I'd zigzag.
So how do you like where you live now?
Oh, it's the perfect place to live when you get old. It really is. Well, it's the perfect place anytime.
So we're kind of segueing to, but it's all part of JoAnn Soriano Memoir, but we're segueing to now JoAnn, my mom currently lives in Seal Beach, California at Leisure World. Made a big move from Fairfield, Connecticut, bought a cooperative in Seal Beach. She lives in a beautiful part of the world, right off about a mile and a half from the beach. And she's here visiting us in Kansas City. We're having pizza tonight, which was our traditional Sunday dinner. As kids growing up, we watched Bonanza and ate pizza. So
And had one can of soda a week.
we had one can of soda per week, and generally it was enjoyed on a Sunday evening, eating pizza right before Bonanza came on in the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. That's such a big part of our childhood growing up in Fairfield. So JoAnn is kind of like, she's lived here in Kansas, grew up here in Kansas City, Kansas, lived a large part of her life in Fairfield, Connecticut, and now she's out on the other coast at Seal Beach, California.
Where three of your siblings live.
Right, interestingly enough, so 3 of Mom's kids live in California. So that's Lori, Shandell, and Chris. They're all on coastal California, where Mom lives in Seal Beach. Chris is in Huntington, and Lori's in Palos Verdes Estates, and Shandell's in Oakland. And 3 of Mom's other kids, so me, Eric, Alex, and Andrea, live here in Kansas City in 3 different suburbs. Well, not 2 suburbs now. And, Andrea and Alex live in Lenexa, Kansas, and I live in Shawnee, Kansas.
All very close.
So you've got 3 in California, 3 in Kansas, none in Connecticut. It's just interesting how we all ended up here in Kansas City. 3 of us did. But that's a lot of Mom's story is, the 3 we came here. Alex came here because of Folgers Coffee. I followed Alex. Andy came here because of Keith on a freak event that she met him going back and forth to school, but he was coming.
No, they were working already.
Oh, they were working. Sorry, at Bison Tool and Gear.
Yeah.
So Keith.
He worked for Bell Labs.
Keith worked for Bell Labs up in Naperville, was it? And he was coming
That's
home
where
on a
they
flight, and she was coming to see us. Andrea was coming to see us, and she met Keith. Now they're Andy and Keith Mall. They live now in Lenexa.
And Keith was born 10 miles from where I was born.
Keith was born 10 miles from where you were born. And where was Keith born?
Well, I don't know, but
10 miles.
10 miles away.
So south of town.
Kansas
You were born in
City.
Paola, so he was born somewhere within 10 miles of Paola. So a small world. And it's a beautiful, we enjoy living here because it's just a really good, what we consider quality of life. You've got some hard summers maybe and cold winters, but we accept that for the warmth and just the way people treat each other here is so great. So what do you think about Kansas City, Kansas now as here we are 30, 40 years later? What do you think?
Well, over in the 32nd Street area, it looks like a miniature world.
It looks small.
But here it's really, really nice and wide. See how wide that street is?
The street is wide.
Yeah.
This area has probably been improved over the years with the wide sidewalks and I see some new architecture.
Oh, an interesting thing about Wyandotte High School, Ed Asner went to school where I did.
Did you know Ed Asner?
No, I saw him. He was a football player, and I'd see him go down the hall. He's 2 years older than I. But the other day on some show, they said, "Has Ed Asner always been 70 years old?" But I can say that he was not always 70 years old.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He was a big linebacker or something?
Yeah, yeah, he was.
So Ed Asner played football here at Wyandotte High School. And anybody else that you know that graduated from Wyandotte that was famous?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, other than Mom's famous, so she's on video. I mean, come on, she's got her own YouTube channel, and we're shooting these videos. So I think we're going to wrap up. I'll pan the school so you can see the majestic nature of this school. It's just.
Really, have you seen so many? Have you ever seen that many schools this nice?
I haven't seen too many schools this nice, regardless of where I've been. So I'm just going to kind of take a little video walk here.
I think it was
Built
built in 1940.
in 1940, and you got here in 46, so it was only 6 years old when you came to school here.
Right.
And you remember how big your graduating class was by chance?
500.
500 in your class.
Yes.
So a very large graduating class. And just a lot of kids, did they go on to KU and
Yes.
K-State maybe?
A lot went to K. You know, a lot of in those days people didn't go very far from home.
Right, just the travel costs and everything.
I don't know what it was.
Well, beautiful school still to this day, and this is Wyandotte High School where my mom went to high school.